Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon, and welcome to PartnerTalks. Today, I have Jesse Clem from Cavallo. Jesse, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Rick, for having me. I'm excited to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Jesse Clem. I'm a company called Cavallo here, based in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The company's been around for 20 years. I'm excited to be the CRO at this company. So I'm in charge of every aspect of anything that touches a customer at our company. So that's my role on a day-to-day basis.
Excellent. So we start PartnerTalks with a little bit of conversation about you, Jesse, before we get into Cavallo. So tell us about your career journey that brought you to this seat today.
It's a long journey, many years. I'm not sure we have that long, but I'll give you an abridged version. I've been born and raised in Michigan, went to school in Indiana, and then came back to Michigan. Joined some consulting companies, and then I spent a lot of time at IBM across multiple roles and services and software sales. I ran their North American cloud business before I left there. Then I went to Google Cloud, spent 5 years there. Very successful years, growing an exciting space. And then I joined a couple other tech companies after that. But the gist is I've spent my life in go-to-market, and I really love go-to-market, serving partners and customers. And I view go-to-market as like 5 pillars. Like there's marketing, there's consulting, there's sales engineering, and then there's the partner ecosystem, of course. And I've run businesses in 4 of those 5 categories. And so that's kind of led me to where I'm at now, and to having all the partner ecosystem, the sales, implementation, et cetera. And so a long journey to get to those pillars, but bringing them all here to Cavallo for our partners and customers.
And I got to tell you, you landed in the right spot, Jesse. Like Cavallo is one of these ISVs that have been in our space. One of the first ISVs that I met. I remember back in Convergence years ago, being in your booth, looking at a product called SalesPad, saying, that's great. I need to talk to SalesPad because I'm a CRM guy. And then I found out, no, you weren't a CRM company, you were a GP company at the time. So I've been watching you for a long time, and I really think Cavallo's a great example of an ISV that grew in the Microsoft space. Like, you've been here for 20 years, odd years, and you're still innovating, you're still growing, and you're attached to Microsoft and its products.
That's for sure. 90% of our business, Rick, over time has come from our partner ecosystem. We've been heavily partner dependent and partner focused, right? And that helps a company scale on a go-to-market capacity, but also make the greatest impact for customers out there. As you work with a partner who has a view of multiple things, and if you create value for the partner, you also create value for the customer. And so that's been a big difference for us. And we've been in the Microsoft space only for that period of time.
So Jesse, let's talk a little bit about this SalesPad product. Start why it was created, and what do we have today? Because we're getting ready for the biggest Business Central show in North America, and that's what you're going to be showing.
That's right. Well, 20 years ago, our founder of SalesPad, who is our flagship legacy product, it was based on GP, but it really started because our owner and founder was a distributor himself. So back in 2003, Pete Erdley, was walking around his business on the shop floor as a distributor, having challenges across his landscape with efficiencies of orders. Where are they at? What's my customer service levels like, et cetera? How do I manage my inventory and purchase orders? And all the operational demands that a distributor makes and has on them on a daily basis. He was challenged with those. And so he really set about, how can I create a software system that will help me as a distributor maximize my margin at the order level, with every variation at the order level that a customer has in that space, and really spent about reducing all those operational inefficiencies. And that's where SalesPad was founded.
And if we look at ISVs that are very successful in these types of spaces, being a distributor, saying, I've got a problem, and then looking over, finding a product and say, okay, I need to get a developer. We need to start building exactly what I want. Now that road may take a while to get it right, but when it's built, it's rock solid. And I think that's the reputation of your product still today.
It is. We continually, even today, we have hundreds of customers on SalesPad today, still working in GP, still trying to optimize their business because the business climate is still changing, right, for them, and they have new demands, e-commerce websites, orders that come in, the Amazon effect of customers expecting to return orders very quickly, right? That has a new dynamic in distribution, etc. But we've been focused around one thing, is increasing the margin for those customers and bringing operational excellence to our partners and to the customers so that they can get that increased margin, right? So, we estimate 35 to 40% of the orders out there that come through a distributor's doors are inefficient and have costly errors in them. And our job is to help them fix that at an order level every time.
And, it's very, very important because, coming from the CRM side of things and looking at, business models, a lot of these distribution and partner models were never done correctly when someone builds a CRM. And you really need a product like SalesPad attached to the stack that you're building to really manage those distributors. Jesse, let's talk a little bit about your install base, the GP customers, and a lot of them are moving to Business Central today. Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about how Cavallo's doing that?
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of things in this space. One is, the BC ERP is much better than GP was, right? And so part of the functionality that comes in BC today is fantastic out of the box, but it still has holes, right? And that's where the ISV comes in. Specifically, if you're an industry-focused ISV like we are through distributors, we want to optimize that BC environment for customers too. So what we've done is take the best of SalesPad that made the most impact at our customers around margin, operational improvement across the order to cash lifecycle, and brought it into what we call SalesPad for BC. And that's really focused on some key holes. For example, our mission control product looks around inefficiencies that are heavily manual labor intensive. So if you're a distributor today that has a lot of back orders, handling back orders today is very inefficient in BC. It's so many clicks, many screens, and using our mission control product, we can take that down to 0 clicks for you to do back order management. If you have reservation challenges for reservation of inventory, so you don't have false stockouts, we handle that for you automatically. If you want to put in rules that make sure an order doesn't go out with a margin less than 20%, for example, we can enforce that for you automatically. And those things like that really make the BC ecosystem around the sales order much more profitable and efficient for a distributor.
And I'm sure your customers are thankful. Cavallo's there to migrate them, because if they're running at this level now in GP, with the end of life, I think coming in 2029, 2030, or into support life, what's really going to happen are these customers are going to say, we've got to move. And if they don't have Cavallo there to move them, then they're really on their own. Like if they go into a new ERP system, they're not going to have all the answers. And if they, just take a product like BC and Business Central and say, let's customize it to what we need, they're going to be there for 5 years, right? So this is a big advantage to your customer base.
It is a big advantage to our customers that we know their processes so well. We've automated so many of them already in GP, and then we can help them map that to BC and help them migrate there so that they can start with their business processes already understood and stand up in a quick fashion. We also know the margin protection rules they want to have, the rules they want to implement so that no order goes out in an unprofitable fashion, for example. So yes, we're in the middle of that migration process with our professional services team, as well as our custom services team. But we also depend on other partners in the ecosystem too. So we're an ISV that relies on other partners as well to help us in that move. So we're doing it in a joint unified fashion. We're not there to replace any other partners' expertise. We're there to come along with them to help the distributor in the end be optimized for performance on day one so that their business can run. Like there's a lot of risk in a migration, right? A lot of risk for a customer. And if they're lucky, they do it once or twice in their career. Whereas us and their partners coming together, we've done this many times and we can set them up for success with the least amount of risk. That's really what we're around.
I had one consultant describe it to me as changing the rims on your car while you're still running. So that's what people need to do.
That's right.
So I know you're heavy and deep in helping your GP customers, but Business Central is exploding, right? Microsoft said last year in Poznan at Directions EMEA, 50,000 install base. It's going to be much bigger. months later when we show up in April in Directions North America. So there's a lot of new customers that are distributors. So what type of customer is the best fit for Cavallo?
Yeah, obviously distributors, as we just talked about, because we really focus there. But the distributor also has services capacity too, so that they might manage they might sell something and then repair it, et cetera. So not just a distributor, but sometimes a services company as well is a good fit for us. But we're not for enterprise customers. We're for small, medium business, I would call, through corporate size business. And that's where we really focus, and we make a big difference there. Our solutions in Business Central are really meant to be configurable and not require custom coding. So those workflow automations I mentioned around reservations and back order processing and maybe even dropship processing, we make the software that allows the distributor to run those and change the rules on their own without requiring custom code. So very nimble. That really targets well for a small to medium sized distributor, right? That's who we're really targeting in this space.
So when we say a medium-sized distributor, what's the high end of your solution?
Yeah, we have customers in the billions too, but I would say we really, in the sweet spot is probably 10 to 500 million probably in revenue is right where we're at, is where we spend most of the time with our customers. Ones that don't have full-blown IT shops, right, that like to build things from scratch, we're really focused around the person that needs to run lean and mean without adding additional headcount so that their margin is improved.
So, Jesse, we've got solutions for your GP customers, solutions for new BC customers, but what types of innovations are we seeing coming from Cavallo?
Yeah, it's a great question. The incredible world we're living in now with AI and how fast it's moving, customers are struggling with what to do with it, and even our distribution customers, they have their hairs on fire from just trying to get orders out the door in an effective way and receive new product, right? So we're really focused on creating actionable insights powered by AI for them, and really focusing at the order level profitability for them. And so we have tools in the BC space like Customer IQ that really looks at what are my most profitable customers? How do I spend more time with them? And what do I do? And so we deliver actionable insights to them like, hey, this is your A segment of customers. Do you want to set rules based upon making sure they get all shipments quick, or new inventory in first, or back order service first? Also, of those top A customers, which ones are at risk to churn, right? And so we want to bring insights to you every day. And so our AI-based churn models, we're proving out to be about 80% accurate in predicting when a customer churns, which allows the distributor to keep that customer, which costs so much to get in the first place, right? Most distributors, when I talk to them, they know how many new customers they added last year, but they don't know how many they lost. Just imagine how much better their business would be if they could predict with 80% confidence who is going to leave, and they put in marketing campaigns and sales campaigns to make sure those customers stay. We're really focused on that. That's one of our AI-based products for BC, Customer IQ. And it's making really good marks with our customers.
So, a product like that, coming from the CRM side of things is, we've got salespeople, usually once they sell a product, or they're servicing a customer who's ordering off them regularly, they'll see a number at a high level, but they won't see those details. And, I've talked to sales reps, we were in doing the optical business at one time, where they'd have like 4,000 opticians ordering from a territory, right? So yes, there are the ones I see, but I don't see, right? And I think tools like yourself is really going to show early on patterns, like which ones are moving away, why are they moving away?
That's right. Customers don't leave and tell you they're leaving. They might, let's use your optician example, they might stop ordering contact lenses from you just a little bit at a time while they test out somebody else, and then all of a sudden in 3 months they're gone and no longer ordering contact lenses, and you don't notice that until way past. I mean, if we could predict that trend of, hey, their orders are declining on an average unit basis, or the number of days since last order is increasingly getting larger. Sales reps don't see that. I know, I run a sales team, right? And so that kind of insight makes a big difference. And also, at the same time we're analyzing that, we're looking at the margin of that customer too. Is it moving? Are you losing opportunity? Are you pricing to save a customer or over giving away, that's terrible language, excuse me, but you're giving away too much on shipping costs. And so your margin is decreasing. We're watching that at the order level, at the customer level, and serving that as actionable insights right in BC where the sales team lives on a daily basis.
Okay. So Jesse, Cavallo's got a great reputation as being a, partner first, partner friendly ISV. Let's talk a little bit about how you work with your existing partners and, what's a good relationship for you. But I really want to start talking about a net new Business Central partner, someone who's opening a practice, some managed service provider that is now selling Business Central licenses. How do you work with them and how do you get them to understand Cavallo and the opportunities around it?
Yeah, we really spend time educating them on where we focus, which is distribution, right, as a customer set. We really get them to focus on some core value use cases that generally, if they're a good BC partner, know our gaps in BC. So, hey, does your distribution customer have a lot of back orders? Oh, we do. That's really challenging. Hey, let's talk about what we do in that space. So we get down to the order level type optics or business case optics with them, but we do wrap that in a bow of, hey, we're also really not just focused on the use case. Our difference is we're really focused on the profitability ultimately of that distributor. And thus, if you as a partner can help your distributor be more profitable, then they're going to have a better relationship with you too. So let's partner together to help them make more money, not just service IT needs, right? And so that's really a core value message for us. But with the partner motion, I think I've run a partner ecosystem before where I was previously, and I am changing and adding things that benefit our partners going forward. We're changing and revamping our partner ecosystem now, specifically to target new BC partners to align to their success. And versus just what have you done for me lately on new licenses is how do I enable you to be more successful? How do I align my incentives for your success and maybe even mutual success for Microsoft and the partner and us together? So we're rewriting that literally as I speak right now as a new generation of our partner program for 2026.
So Jesse, talking about partners, Cavallo's got a lot of partners, and I'm sure Directions coming up in just a few weeks in Florida is going to be very important for your team. So talk a little bit about what Cavallo is going to be doing at Directions.
Yeah, we're sending a big team. We're really excited to head there this month. We've spent many years going, and we always find great value in talking to the partners. Every time we're there, we're learning more about what they're doing, what their customers are seeing, and what challenges they face and what opportunities we have together. Super excited about that. But we're bringing a big team. We're sponsoring. We have a booth there. We'll be demonstrating our Business Central value proposition we're talking about from a profitability perspective for customers, but also what tooling a partner can take to a customer to get really increased operational efficiencies. That's what we'll be showing and talking about. And then obviously, how are they and we going to partner together to migrate our existing customers together and mutual new customers that can be optimized after they get to BC as well. So we'll be definitely talking about migrations as well.
Okay. I'm looking forward to catching up with the Cavallo team at Directions, and I'm sure we'll be back to you at some point to find out what's going on with Cavallo on Partner Talks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick, for the time. I appreciate it.
Have a great day, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
You too.